Da-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. So we have this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Da-da-da. Fuera. Fuera. Let's do this already. Maybe it's gonna work now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe it'll work now. Let's see if this works. We're live, Bubby. We're live. We just had a couple of thunder lightnings on the TV antenna and they knocked us out, so sorry guys. This is what happens when you're that popular. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show, guys. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's 15 here. Wow. Wow. Fish head break room is 15. Wow. It's freezing over there. Where are we at, if you don't mind? A ver esto. Esto es. Estamos. Astronia. Wow. Wow. Keep warm out there, man. 15 is 15. That's heavy stuff. That's heavy stuff. 15, coño. I can put something on. Wow, no Rolex AD in all of Estonia, man. Wow. So, where do you go shopping at, Fishhead? Like, like no Omega, but I have an JLC dealer. Okay, well, that's good. I like that brand, Vienna. My daughter was just there. My daughter was in Vienna. She loved it. She loved it. But 15 is 15. Mucho frío, coño. Yes, it is great. It is great. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Well, let me just see if this is really working. What time is it over there, Fischette? What time is it? Coño, man. 15. ¿Qué dice? I'm there often. 10:30 p.m. Wow, it's 10:30 p.m. We got to get this show running already for Fishhead, because it's 10:30. No playing around. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the show. To the public service watch announcement channel. We're here to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. We're here to tell you what's happening out there. I want to welcome you, all of you back. You guys are great. Just, by being here with us on this live stream, you guys are great. All right. So as you know, this is a public service watch announcement channel and the only one that exists out there. Nobody else is going to talk to you the way I talk to you guys. I said it wrong. Sweet Kid Kino, which, he's here today, quiet in a corner, but he's here today. We try to tell you everything that's happening out there. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we also have a private group. It's under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves, and it's in Bookface. You go to About, and you'll find there Opusntime. Request to join the channel. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe Samantha and Sweet Kid Kino will let you in the group. All right, guys? So don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen, that we have that private group just for you guys. And remember, this is the only public service watch announcement out there. We do this for free. We try to drop you the knowledge that we learn or the knowledge that Kino learns and drops it on me. And I give it to you guys because Sweet Kid Kino is the brains of the channel and I am the voice of the channel. All right, guys? Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell all of you who is involved in precious metal materials, I want you guys to know that the price of rhodium, the troy ounce price of rhodium, is at $10,100 a troy ounce. All right, that's rhodium. They do the polish on Cartier rings, on the polish on the watches, make it look shiny and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's rhodium. The price, the troy ounce price on palladium is $1,827 a troy ounce, ladies and gentlemen. Platinum, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, platinum is at $2,355. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to know that American money was once, backed by gold. American money was once backed by gold. If you guys don't know that. If you guys don't know that, today you're going to know it. It was, at one time, it was backed up by gold, money, And on August 15th, 1971, that promise ended. They ended that promise of, dollar money being backed up by gold. And the one that changed the economy forever, here in this country, at least in this country, was President Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon, he was the one that changed the economy forever. Because I'm telling you, at one moment, American money was once backed by gold. Until that guy, to that president said, no más, no more. Se jodió esto. The gold is not going to back up the dollar. And the economy forever changed. August the 15th, 1971. This is some more knowledge for you guys. Some more knowledge. I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. You guys need to know this. And ladies and gentlemen, the price of silver, ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable. If you haven't looked into silver, you must look into silver. You know what? You must look into it. That's right. See that? I'm telling you what it is. Thank you very much, Fishhead, for saying that because they won't believe me. But I'm telling you, at one moment, the American money was backed by gold, by pure gold. And that's, those people that they're all sellouts. All those people that work in the politics, they're puppets. And on August the 15th, 1971, the president by the name Richard Nixon forever changed the economy forever. That was it. It was over. Okay, so just to let you know and keep it in your mind. And again, thank you, Mr. Fishhead, for saying that. Because some people don't even want to believe that. Remember, today what they believe is a lie, not a truth. Don't ever forget that. Today, in this year, people believe lies, not truths. Okay? And they're happier believing lies because they're skip hopping around through life like rabbits, you know? There are no friends. There are no friends. Absolutely. So I wanted you guys to know that. Ladies and gentlemen, again, silver is at, powerful $90.88 a troy ounce. That silver is unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, gold, the almighty gold, is at $4,610 and going all the way up to the moon. Going all the way up to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm just letting you know what's going on, Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that these people that own the world don't want smart people. They don't want smart people. Rockefeller, wanted slaves. Rockefeller, that guy Rockefeller, he wanted slaves, not mines, not mines. He wanted slaves, That's why the wealthy raise children who question everything. You understand that? So you guys need to question everything. The wealthy people are like that. The wealthy people, they see us like dumpskis, like slaves. They don't want people who are going to ask questions. They don't want that. The only people that they show to ask questions are their family members, their children. Rockefeller wanted slaves. Slaves, not mines. That's why the wealthy raise children who question everything. Get it through your head, ladies and gentlemen. In this channel, we're going to tell you what it is. It's incredible. We got 8, I don't know if these are subscribers or, just spooking around, spooking. 8 spookers and 1 thumbs up. Come on, guys, man. Come on, Bobby. If you have arthritis in your finger or something, then I can understand that. Pero coño, 1, no joda, no comas mierda. No sean cativilla, So I'm telling you these things so you guys know what's going on. Remember what they want. You know what I'm trying to say, Fishhead. You know what I'm trying to say. Don't forget what Rockefeller said. He wanted slaves, not mines. Not mines. He doesn't want no mines. The only mines that he wanted is their children, Their children. They were taught to ask questions and questions and questions. You know what I'm trying to say, guys, all right? I'm just letting you know what's going on so you know what's happening. I talked to you already what Richard Nixon did in 1971, August 15th of 71. The economy changed forever because at one moment, gold was backed up. The dollar was backed up. American money was backed up by gold. But today, es una mierda. Es una mierda. You understand me? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about watches, watch brands. I'm going to talk to you about watch brands. Top selling luxury watches of 2025. The performance, the way these watches, these brands behaved in the year 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. The first watch that was, was doing unbelievable, it was doing unbelievable is no other than, does anybody know which is we're going to go from the last watch, from 1 to 10, the last one, all the way to number 1. Does anybody know what number 10 is? Number 10. Number 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 2, 1, We're going to go start at 10. Does anybody know who number 10 is that performed unbelievable in 2025? Nobody knows? No problem. We know a little bit about it. Okay, Vacheron Constantin, Mr. Premium says that. Okay, anybody else? One more. One more. One more for you guys. We have a good show for you guys today, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody knows? Okay. Top selling luxury watch brand of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. You're pretty good, but no, it's not there, Fishhead. It's not there. Not JLOC. Number 10 is no other than Tag Heuer. Tag Heuer in the year 2025 sold $919 million in 2025. I repeat, $919 million in the year 2025. That's number 10. We're going to go to number 9. Does anybody know who number 9 is? If you cheat, it's no fun. You know, you shouldn't cheat. If you get it, I'm going to say you got it. There it is. You said it. Number 9. Does anybody know who number 9 is, ladies and gentlemen? No, it's not IWC, but you're there. You're throwing something out, and that's good. I applaud that. Okay. Okay, maybe another one, another IWC. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a watch brand that, I really don't talk about it much, but I did have this watch. I had a couple of those watches, and they were unbelievable watches. I believe they make great, great watches. Number 10 is no other than Breitling. Ladies and gentlemen, number 9, excuse me, number 9 is Breitling. Breitling. And they sold in the year 2025, $969 million of Breitling watches. Me too. I love Breitling. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get another one. I want to get a full rose one, with the pilot bracelet, the pilot, or even the bullet. I don't know what, I don't care. I'll get one of those. But that is number 9. Does anybody know who number 8 is? No, yes, it is. Number 8. Number 8 as the top selling luxury watch brand in 2025. Does anybody know who number 8 is? Come on, number 8. Don't be afraid. This is good for you guys. Oh, Longines. Okay. Not that one, but you're almost right. I'll tell you that. You're almost right. You're doing good. You know your stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, number 8. No, no. Number 8, you're going to be in for a surprise. Number 8. I thought this watch should be this watch brand should be in the top 5. How's that? Yeah, I thought this watch brand should be the top 5, but it's not. It's number 8 in the 1 through 10 as the best watches brands of 2025. It's no other than Vacheron Constantin. Vacheron Constantin. There you go. You said it, Fisher. You said it. You said it. There you go. There you go. Number 8 was Vacheron Constantin. I thought they should have been in the top 5, 1 through 5, No, they didn't make it. And they sold $1.7 billion in the year 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable watch brand, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, how can I say this to you guys? Well, let me keep on with the watch brands that sold the most in 2025. Number 7. Does anybody know what number 7 watch brand sold the most? In the year 2025. Does anybody? Somebody said it before I said it. Somebody said it. In this watch brand, I am surprised. I am surprised because, man, okay, not Seiko, but somebody said it already. I'm telling you, somebody said the brand. And I said, wow. Even myself, I'm going to go, man, people look at this watch. I have always looked at it when I would go to Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium in New York, and I watched the baseball game. They were always there, They had a real big name on them. Nobody still knows. Somebody said it before. I think it was you that said it. How's that? Nobody knows? Nobody knows. Well, number 7, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, one of you said it. It's no other than Longines. That's right. Longines makes unbelievable looking watches. Longines, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable, but true. Longines is number 7 in the list. And ladies and gentlemen, to my surprise, they sold $1.27 billion in the year 2025. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. They sold, I'm telling you, Longines. Coño, they're a powerhouse. They sold some watches, man. They sold some big money. And some of us look at that brand like it's a dog with fleas, and it's not. They make tremendous watches. That's all I got to say. Number 6 as the watch that sold the most in the year 2025. Does anybody know who number 6 is? Number 6. You'll be in for a big surprise when I tell you who number 6 is. Nobody knows. That's an unbelievable watch. People, Goño! There it is. There it is. Aerial Slayer 2. That's right. Richard Mille, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Aerial Slayer 2. He's right. Richard Mille is number 6. Number 6, and making money, big money on those watches that some of us, we like and we hate, all that good stuff. Richard Mille, and they sold $1.76 billion in the year 2025. Unbelievable, that Richard Mille, ladies and gentlemen. But it's the truth. You have to give props where props are due. I mean, this is basically, not a small little company, and the guy, he spread it out like wildfire, and he's selling watches like you won't believe it, and making big money at it at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to my top 5 watches that sold the most in 2025, in the year 2025. Does anybody know? I double dare you, I triple dare you to tell me who number 5 is. Who's number 5 in that list, ladies and gentlemen? Who is number 5 in that list? Does anybody know? Number 5, don't cheat. You cheat, no good. No good. Okay, Cartier. Wow, very good. It's not Cartier, Mr. Premium, but well done. We're saying that name, I'm not saying nothing, but well done saying that name. AP, wow, okay, AP, all right. You guys are there. Wow, number 5, you already said Cartier and AP. You Omega, wow, Omega 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Okay, nobody knows who number 5 is. You said everything. You haven't said number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. The Holy Trinity. Who's number 5? Go ahead, tell me. Number 5, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you. You know what? It's very confusing. You would think that number 5, would be like, there you go, Papi. There you go, Fishhead. You got it, Fishhead. You get it. Number 5, unbelievable number 5 that sold the most in the year 2025 is no other than Patek Philippe. Unbelievable. Patek Philippe. This right here. This right here. Patek Philippe. They sold unbelievable. Number 5, right? I will put him in 1, 2, 3. Number 5. Thank you. Number 5 is Patek Philippe, and they sold. This is incredible, man. You say, wow, man, you would think even more, but they sold in the year 2025 $2.62 billion. $2.62 billion in the year 2025. We're going to number 4. Who's number 4, ladies and gentlemen? Number 4, selling watches like you won't believe it. Number 4. Does anybody know number 4? Número 4. B4, like in bingo. B4, like in bingo. Wow. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, who is it? Tell me who's number 4. You cannot tell me two different brands. Tell me one. Tell me one. Están fajados los muchachos. Aquí no están fajados los muchachos. Están fajados. Absolutely. Again, he got it right. Arrow Slayer. Number 4, ladies and absolutely. Number 4 is Audemars Piguet. Audemars Piguet sold in the year 2025 $2.71 billion in the year 2025. That's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. But now tell me who number 3 is, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead. Tell me number 3. Who's number 3, ladies and gentlemen? Number 3 is unbelievable watch brand, Make unbelievable movements. There you go, Mr. Fishhead. Got it. Right there. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, is Omega. Omega is number 3, and they sold in the year 2025 $2.75 billion. I mean, that's incredible. You know that? I mean, I'm telling you, Omega, man. We give Omega so much, so much shit, and they're unbelievable watchmakers, man. You're talking about top 3. Omega's top 3, man. Top 3. And they sold, they invoiced $2.75 billion. Who's number 2, ladies and gentlemen? I dare you to tell me who number 2 is. Who's number 2, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, who's number 2? Barely out of the top 10, yes. They were barely out, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Fishhead again. He's on fire. Fishhead says that number 2, and he's right. The number 2 watch brand that sold the most And let me tell you something, where credit is due, credit is due. I've been telling you, and I'll keep on telling you. Many people don't like to, talk about Cartier watches, but you can't deny that Cartier watches is an unbelievable watch brand, sophisticated, classy, elegant. I mean, it has everything, you know. I mean, yes, yes, and they've done well. Let me tell you, not only with the watches, but with their jewelry. These people are unbelievable, and I'm gonna be honest, man. You guys know what number one is. You guys know what number one is, but these people, they're gonna give a run one day to that other watch brand because they have also jewelry to complement their timepieces, which is Cartier, and they're number two on the list. And they sold, ladies and gentlemen, in the year 2025, it's unbelievable but true, but they sold $3.62 billion in the year 2025, and that's unbelievable. That's a shitload of money they sold, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, who's number one, and this is why they wear the crown. And when you look at the numbers that these people sold in the year 2025, you say there's nobody that could. Yes, the king is always the king, Bobby. I mean, I'm telling you, when you hear these numbers, they're billions of dollars. Cartier almost $4 billion, Omega almost $3 billion. That's a lot of money, right? But when you hear the numbers that I'm going to tell you about Rolex, it is sickening, man. It is. You say, dude, man. I mean, it's not only a watch. It's a brand. It's a status. It's you have a Rolex on your hand, and honestly, you have a Rolex, and I have this on. People don't even know what the hell I have on, and but they see a Rolex and they know it's a Rolex. They see this and they get what is that sardine can you have on your wrist? But they know what a Rolex is. They know what a Rolex is. There they are right there. And they cost, I don't know, $5,600 for that one over there, and I don't know, 40, 41, 40, 46 for the green one. But they don't know what this is. They know what a Rolex is, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the truth. Don't let nobody tell you no, Papa. Rolex is the king of watches. Let me give you the sign. Let me give you the logo. Unbelievable. You saw the numbers that I told you on Rolex. I'm telling you, this Hans Wilsdorf, he was unbelievable, this Hans. And ladies and gentlemen, these people have to be running with the, with the people out there. They have to be running with the owners of the world, because when I tell you what they sold in 2025, Papi, you're gonna go, this is not right. It's not right, because they're killing the other ones by 4, 5, and 6 times and 7 times. And ladies and gentlemen, Rolex sold in the year 2025. Don't believe for a moment that Rolex only produces 1 million watches a year, Papi. Don't believe. And then this is the Muser. The Muser. Don't believe that Rolex only sells 1 million watches a year. That's no comas mierda, no comas mierda. You know where they come from. But ladies and gentlemen, Rolex sold with that name brand, with that logo, with the logo. They sold, ladies and gentlemen, they sold, my God. I'm telling you, 4 and 5 times and 7 times. They sold in the year 2025, $12 billion, Papi. 12 billones, And they don't have to worry about, anything, any wishy-washy taxes and that, because you know who they are, they're under there, Esa gente son el diablo. $12 billion. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they're going to sell even more in 2026. But every year it gets higher, because I've been doing this every year. One year was 10.9 billion. The other one was 11.4 billion. And now you're going to tell me, with that Corona beer era, with the Corona beer era that everybody wanted one, from now on, for here now, from the Corona to now, it just got higher and higher and higher and higher. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the top watches that sold the most in the year 2025. Hopefully, Mr. Fishhead is saying that in 2026 they're going to probably sell more with the new factories and all that good stuff. So, we have to show the people out there who they are. They're there. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here they are. The king of watches. Look at that. The king. I make the same logo. I make it exactly like them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask all of you a question. Do you guys know who Aladdin is? Aladdin. Not Aladdin, the guy that floats around on a magic carpet. Does anybody know who Aladdin is? Exactly. How many Rolex clones were sold? You're right. You're right. Does anybody know who Aladdin is? And it's not the guy in the magical carpet, It's not that guy. But does anybody know? Because we need to find out where you people are at. We need to find out where you're at so we can, help you out with the issue. Nobody knows who Aladdin is. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that Aladdin is Aladdin by BlackRock. Aladdin is by BlackRock. And BlackRock, BlackRock, even his rivals, they even use him. They even use BlackRock, Aladdin. They use Aladdin. And I want you guys to know something about BlackRock, because somebody has to tell you this so you understand where you're standing at, ladies and gentlemen. BlackRock is taking control of the world's infrastructure. BlackRock is taking over, the infrastructure of the world is taking. And that means airports, energy, water, and much more. That's who BlackRock is. And they're playing around any given day between 10 and $20 trillion. Thank you, Fishhead. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. I'm trying to drop some knowledge so you see where you guys are at mentally. I got to find out where you guys are at. I got to find out. When I tell you this, which is Aladdin by BlackRock or BlackRock by Aladdin, the same company, the guy with the horns. He has small ones, and whenever he wants, he brings them out. They get bigger, You understand? Like that. They come out. So you have that. So you have BlackRock by Aladdin or Aladdin by BlackRock. If you guys don't know this, I'm going to tell you today something that you guys need to know. BlackRock owns, you ready for this? No sean huele, papi. BlackRock owns 4% of Walmart. 4% of Walmart. Where people go shopping, for plastic shoes from China, clothes from China, which is nothing bad, but everything they sell in Walmart is made in China. One way or the other, it's made in China. If you don't know that, you know it today. En la China, papi, tú lo sabes, papá, en la China. But I have to tell you because somebody has to, drop some knowledge for free, because we just can't talk about watches and not talk about the world, what's happening, and why they're doing this to us every day, every single day. Remember what I tell you, the Rockefellers only wanted slaves. Rockefeller only wanted slaves, not mines. That's the way the wealthy raise their children, by asking questions. They don't want you to ask questions. No. Rockefeller wanted slaves. He didn't want no mines. And this is why I'm doing this, because you guys need to understand this. Para que se pongan más inteligente, get smarter. You know what it is? The BlackRock by Aladdin owns 4% of Walmart. That's BlackRock, papi. Here's another one for you guys. Okay, you know what? Allegedly, to all my people out there, allegedly, listen to this one, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to fall backwards when you hear this one now. I might even get a thunder lightning on this one. I might even get a thunder lightning. I told you that BlackRock owns 4% of Walmart. But ladies and gentlemen, Aladdin by BlackRock owns 6% of something that you guys go crazy when you hear about the release. You guys spend like 24 hours waiting to get this. Does anybody know? So you understand what kind of slaves. That's why Rockefeller will say that. He only wanted you guys as slaves because you are. You guys spend 24 hours in the rain. Exactly. Apple, papi, they own Apple. These are management firms, market, whatever you want to call it. These people, they own 6% of Apple. I've given you two already. Walmart, all the clothes from China, and now the phone, Apple. They own a 6%, papi. Don't matter. It's 100%. They own 6 of the action. You're getting a 6%. You're getting money all day, every day. That's BlackRock by Aladdin, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable, but you guys have to hear this. So you guys will not continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. This is a big circle, and it's only for the owners of the world. Papi. I'm going to tell you something today. If I get a thunder lightning, I'm not going to do the show no more. I'll just leave. But I'm going to tell you this. When the Corona beer came around, and I quote, and I ask all of you to Google it. Google it. What I'm going to tell you now. When the Corona came around, the United States government of America and of the world, who do they call to consult and find out how they had to spread around the free government money? Who did you think they called? Who did they call? No te metas aquí, no. Eso no es problema tuyo, no te metas. Now they're Googling it. They're going crazy Googling it. They're Googling it. And that's smart. Google it. Go ahead. You were close to creative experiment, but it wasn't. They called on BlackRock, papi. I'm giving you the hint. You know what it is having a 4% of Walmart, a 6% of Apple, a 6% of Apple, ladies and gentlemen, a 6% of Apple. So I'm giving you these three so you understand. Rock is far bigger, man. They're playing around any given day. They're playing with 10 to 20 trillion dollars. And the United States government called on who? Fink Larry. They called on Fink Larry. Mr. Larry Fink, how do we spread around the mayonnaise for the slaves that we have in the world? How do we spread around this mayonnaise, this butter on all these people? And he told them how you had to do it. You understand me? That's who he is. But this one, again, keep in mind, I gave you Walmart 4%. I gave you Apple 6%. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you the next one, you're going to go, wow. In number, this is the next one. Number 3, because I can continue telling you what these people are involved in everything. And they're making money, papi, just sitting like this. The whole day making money. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, that's pretty good, but it's not that. I'm going to give each of you 9 people to give me one brand that it goes all over the world. All over the world. It wasn't that one, but he was pretty close. He was good. Nobody knows? Don't Google it if you want. If you want to Google it. Google if you want. No, it's not that way. No, it's not that. Papi, listen to the one. Listen, Bookface. Listen to the one. They have an 8%. An 8%, papi. 8%. You know who? The carrier. You know the carrier? That sends your packages and all that stuff? No, nobody knows? UPS. United Parcel Service. United Parcel Service. They got a piece of the action, papi. UPS, the United States Parcel Service. You know what it is, papi? You have an 8%. Get the frog out of here, man. Estos lambones tienen un 8% and 8%. They mobbed up, Papi. You're right. They mobbed up. They said, we need the guy with the big horns to come and help us out. And I can continue telling you different companies, and you're going to go, oh my God. That's who BlackRock is. Because I've been telling you about BlackRock for the last year. And none of you don't like ask me this, that. And I can tell you that BlackRock has next to them, they're the beast. They are the beast. They're demonic, they're demons, they're everything. And then they have the other guy just sitting there just in case they need $4 trillion, $2 trillion in emergency. Who do you think they have next to them? Nobody knows? They got Vanguard. They got Vanguard right next to them. Vanguard sitting down. What do you need, Larry? What do you need, Vanguard? And if Vanguard is a little tight, moving around, then they look, you know at who? They go look at State Street. La trifecta, papá. La trifecta. La trifecta. I bet you guys don't believe nothing I'm saying. And that's good. Because today, in today's time, in today's world, what people believe is a lie. But, papi, I read too much, papi. You know, I read too much. Yes, it's what it is. So I want you guys to understand what's happening out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take my time to tell you something that me, myself, on a, every week or whatever it is, I give exposure to who I am, and people get to see me for an hour, with our organic Watch Channel subscribers, even though they were like this, but people get to see who I am, and I show myself and all that. And we have a lot of people out there, they're kind of, they're kind of obsessed, they're people, they're strange, and they have a lot of things going on. And I have a gentleman that he was looking at this auction that's going to be happening, an auction of watches, there's an auction that's happening now on the 21st. It's about vintage watches, and this gentleman has been looking at this auction and the person behind it. And he was telling me that this person is, he's a compulsive, compulsive. He has narcissistic, he's a malignant narcissistic person, and he has obsessions. He's a fanatic. He's a maniac. All that. He's telling me that, and he, you got to be careful with this person, because this person does Google search on people, wants to find out their address, where they live at, who they are, and all that good stuff. And I'm listening to this man, and he said, I'm going to send you some information, because this person that I'm talking about, he even asked for a motion in court, in court. And ladies and gentlemen, the person that we're talking about no other than Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken. The gentleman, he's like a vagrant walker that he walks around Las Vegas through the streets, mumbling, walking around, swallowing flame. I'm talking about Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken, and he is also walking around the San Francisco streets, ready to wax your sinus congestion, this gentleman, And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe what this person, he went on November the 12th of 2025, he asked for a notice of motion, because he wanted to get back into the company, because this person is not, for what they say, this person is, he's not well mentally, and so he had a date. He had a date with an appeal. An appeal in court, and he went over there. And the people in the court, he's trying to get back in. We're talking about Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken. He's unbelievable. The SEC is looking for him. He works in the stocks, but he's been thrown out, and they throw him out. They bring him in, throw him out, and he's bananas. He's a malignant, narcissistic, person, I mean, he has alias names. He has like 3 or 4 names, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are doing any business with this auction of watches, vintage watches with this gentleman, you need to take good care of yourself and watch yourself on this person. It's not a healthy mind, you know. So he went over there, he wanted to address, and the panel over there. And ladies and gentlemen, they turned him down, and this is what the panel wrote about him. And I quote: "You can look at this. This is all there. It's public. It's all public. You can look at it in the Google and all that good stuff." And they said this: since Eugene losing his appeal to the panel, and in the face of the findings about his social media posts, online conduct has worsened. His conduct has worsened, El tipo está loco, está loco. So you got to be very, very careful with this man, This is what the panel is saying about this man. Since losing his appeal to the panel, and in the face of the findings about his social media posts, Eugene online conduct has worsened. His conduct has worsened, ladies and gentlemen. He continues, listen to this, he continues to post overly promotional content and now makes baseless defamatory allegations against the CSE along with its employees. This is the person that's doing the auction. So if you're buying anything from this gentleman, I'm letting you know what they're saying about this man. He's unstable. He's unstable, ladies and gentlemen. He's unsuitable. And I told you all the words that they're using that he is. He's a very bitter, salty man, Like I said again, he's a very bitter, salty man. So any of you that are looking to buy anything in that auction, in those vintage watches, you need to be very, very careful, because you're dealing with somebody that is a malignant, narcissist, and dangerous. And he will Google you and look for you and do all kind of banana things. So like I said again, showing your face and social media sometimes could be very, very creepy, because they're very, very weird people out there. They're looking at you, they're watching you, they have an obsession with you. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm telling all of you that they're looking to buy any watches from this auction, you gotta watch it. He's very fixated. He's obsessed. He's a maniac. All those good things. So I'm telling you all this so you don't fall for it. This is all public, records. You go into Google, you search it, and we're talking about no other than Eugene, AKA Jacob McChicken. The SEC is looking for you. He has like 4 or 5 alias names. He changes them around. In the same way that he runs his business in the stock market is the same way that he's running his business in the watch market. He slanders the competition. You know what it is? I don't sell watches. I don't buy watches. I just drop knowledge here. That's all. And I do this to burn a lot of, poison that you have. And, just what I do it for fun, But if you're buying something and you're spending $50,000, make sure you know who you're giving your money to. This person is used to this already. He's used to going to court. He's been going to court forever. And this just happened that he just went to court, ladies and gentlemen. He went to court on November the 12th, 2025. This is unbelievable what this guy is. This guy is unbelievable. And the evidence testify that they have on Eugene online conduct from March 25th, the way he was behaving from March 25th, 2025 to September 26th, 2025. He's promoting, ladies and gentlemen, he continues to promote securities without proper disclosure. You understand me? You got to watch it with this person. I'm telling you what's going on. In this channel, ladies and gentlemen, we don't use nobody's name. We just let you, we give you subliminal, and from there you take it, But you're dealing with somebody that's very disturbed, I'm telling you what's going on, Papi. I'm telling you what's going on. This is public service. This is the way he deals. The same way that he deals in his stock market operations is the same way he deals in the watch market operation. Slandering everybody, you're retards, you're low class, you don't know nothing. you're stupid, you're this, you're that, a narcissistic mind. I'm telling you, listen to me. My favorite word for him, he is a malignant narcissist. A malignant narcissist. So if you are planning to go into the auction, go in there knowing who you're dealing with. He likes all this. This is who he is. This person, I'm telling you, and they even told me that, hey, listen, Mr. Nieves, watch out because this person is Google searching everybody, I'm gonna tell you, Eugene, I'm the boss. I'm the boss, Eugene. I sleep in your head. I triple dare you. I triple dare you to come to my house. That's all. I triple dare you. That's all. I invite you to come over. But I don't want nobody to get hoodwinked by this huckster. Nobody, not at my clock and not at my time. Look for this information, you'll find it all there. It's sad. What you hear there, unsuitable and unstable. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? Not fitting or appropriate, Not fitting and not appropriate. It's like little kids. Like a little kid, ladies and gentlemen. This little kid, when he was in school, he must have squealed on every little kid that was around him. But I'm telling you this because you guys need to know this. Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken. I'm watching you. I'm the boss, papi. I sleep in your head deeply. You're disturbed. Tú estás mal de la chola, papi. I'm watching you, papi. So I'm letting all of you know, if you're going into action, you know what it is already. I'm giving to you the information. Google it. Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken, walking the streets, the San Francisco streets, walking the Las Vegas Strip, like a vagrant walker, flashing around. Stay away. Stay away from penny stocks. That's all I got to say. Okay? I'm telling you because you need to know this. You're dealing with somebody that's not playing with a full deck of cards. You're not. You're not. When you hear somebody mumbling like that all over the time and repeating over and over, this guy makes 20 videos a day of me and Kino. Kino's even scared. And Kino's not scared of nobody. You can tell he's a very bitter, salty. That life hasn't, turned out the way he wants it. Because he does things that are bad. When you read about this guy, who he is, Bobby, when you read about who this guy is, the human test, as I also call him in a sweet way, the human test, this guy doesn't even show his face. And he's asking you to wire him $50,000. You got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. This is why I say that today people believe more a lie than believe the truth. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen, This guy slanders his competitors. The same way he would do it in his business, the stock market, slandering his competitors, saying crazy things. And if you look at everything he writes down, this guy is unstable and unsuitable, papi, and dangerous. Dangerous, very, very, very dangerous. Small, petite man, with a hairline back here, and he looks like a human test. All right? Eugene, I'm the boss. Remember that. You were the one that called me the boss. I sleep in your head. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into a watch market update. All right, guys? I hope, take this in a serious way. Don't take it as a jokeable way. Take it seriously. It's not cute. It's not cute, ladies and gentlemen. He has alias names. How can that be? How can a panel, you're trying to get back in with them. How can a panel let you in knowing that you have like 3, 4 alias names? If you have 4 names, alias names, is that a good thing? What does that mean when you have 3 and 4 alias names? Can somebody help me with that? Maybe somebody who's a lawyer and you can tell me what that means, because I get scared, and I get scared when they tell me that they're also Google searching me, and all that. No, we know who he is, because we get information who's looking for me all day, every day, Papi. I'm gonna give you guys a watch market update, but please protect yourself from this gonorrhea. Okay, Papa, but you understand what I'm saying, right? You understand? 4 or 5 alias names, 3, 4, whatever it is, 2, 3, 4. It's crazy. It's crazy. How can you trust somebody like that? Even the people that's sending him $50,000, $30,000, $20,000 for a watch, and you never seen this guy's face. It's bad. You don't. Anyway, guys, let's go into a watch market update, right? Our first watch, ladies and gentlemen, of the afternoon on this matinee watch market update is a Rolex Land Dweller, 36 millimeter, reference number 127234. Unbelievable looking watch with a chicken coupe white dial. Chicken coupe, the chicken coupe white dial, the 36, ladies and gentlemen. Reference number 127234 with a retail price of $15,350. Do yourself a favor and don't pay for that watch more. You do whatever you want. It's your money and you spend it as you please. After the show is over, you do whatever you want with your money. We don't care about that, But it's what it is. But don't pay for that watch more than $18,600 and dropping, all right? That's one. There is number one. Ladies and gentlemen, the next one is a Rolex two-tone rose gold stainless steel chocolate dial Yachtmaster. Unbelievable watch. 40 millimeter, reference number 126621. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and don't pay more. You do whatever you want. Don't pay more than $12,900 and topping, right? There's number two, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, some people have asked me, please give me a watch market update on the Bulgari Serpent. The Bulgari Serpent. It's an unbelievable watch. It's beautiful. It's fully rose gold. It's for Valentine's Day. It's a 33 millimeter. Sir, this is for you because you wanted this. You requested this for your side chick or your girlfriend. I don't know who it is, but you requested this. I imagine it must be a side chick, your girlfriend, your wife, I don't know who it is. But ladies and gentlemen, this is an unbelievable 33 millimeter. Rose gold white dial, reference number 10314 with a retail price of $34,800. Sir, you do whatever you want. You told me that you were looking at one that they're asking you $22,000, right? $22,000 you're asking. You told me 22. I'm going to give you my price. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Papi, this is the number one watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than Fudenki and Sachs Goldman. We've been chosen by those two as the best. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that Bugatti Serpenti. I love you too, Alex. I love you too. Okay, look at that. There he goes. He said, who was that? That was Mr. Premium. He said $19,000, right? And he's there. He's on the number. But sir, you saw that because I'm sure you're here. Peace to you, Alex. Gracias, papa. Peace to you. But ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman by the name of Mr. Premium said $19,000 and dropping, right? This is a beautiful Bugatti, rose gold, 33 millimeter. Even a man can wear this watch. Even a man can wear it. If you're buying the Patek Philippe Ellipse, the gondola, which is like around 28 by 32, you can wear this watch. Rose gold, the Serpenti, el Serpentante del Bugatti, 33 millimeter, white dial. Ladies and gentlemen, retail price is $34,800. $34,800. Don't pay for that watch. Premium, hear this, Mr. Premium. Don't pay for that watch, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that watch more than $17,300 and bam! There it is, okay? There it is, Mr. Premium. You said 19 and dropping. There's a dropper right there. There's a drop. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You spend it as you please. This is the number one watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than Fudenki and Sachs Goldman. Ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, this is a watch that I say to myself, coño, this is a masterful watch, a brand. Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Stainless steel, the 7700V, world time, with a 43.3 millimeter casing, blue dial. Retail price of that watch is $42,200. $42,200. Does anybody know what price? That's a beautiful watch, papi. It is, papi. This is un insulto. It's an insult to Vacheron Constantin, the way they're being treated, A real treasure. I'm talking about a real treasure, like Mr. Fishhead has shown me. A real treasure. Unbelievable watch, ladies and gentlemen. $42,200 is the retail price for a world time. World time, you know, Hong Kong, China, Abu Dhabi, you know, all those names in there, you know, unbelievable. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. You're just scared because I'm trying to say something and you don't want to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. This is a virgin that's been already basically, I don't know, maybe this is discontinued, collector's unit, collector's dream, collector's grave, you know, collector's grade. You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. This is the one with the blue inside with all the different names of the countries around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that beautiful world time? Vacheron Constantine overseas with a blue dial, 7700 V. Does anybody know? Nobody knows? Don't be scared. Say anything you want. Say a number. Throw it out there. Don't be scared. Nobody knows? Well, here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that Vacheron Constantine 7700 V. Alex, you're giving your money away, Papa. I mean, you're giving your money away. This is stainless steel. It's a 43.3 millimeter casing. It's the world time. And I'm going to tell all of you with a beautiful blue dial of the different countries. I never look. Here it goes. Don't pay for that watch more than $22,000 and $22,000. Okay, you do whatever you want. It's your money. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe Complications 5236 Platinum with a dark blue dial, 41.3 millimeter casing, leather strap. Retail price of this watch is an unbelievable price. The retail price of that watch is $170,000. Patek Philippe Complications 5236 on a platinum metal, just on the case, because the rest is leather, you know? The little buckle has a little bit, you know, whatever it is, platinum there too. And this is a beautiful watch, ladies and gentlemen, and the retail price is $170,000. Does anybody know the price of that watch? Does anybody know? 5236. That's right, $170,000 is the retail price of that watch. This is not a complications. This is a grand complication. Un mostro. I mean, you do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. But ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and stop giving away your children's tuition money away to these flim-flammers, hucksters, hoodwinks, who have been fleecing you for too many years until sweet Kino came around. Say, Kino, beautiful Kino. Unbelievable. That's nuts. It is nuts. But look at it. You want it again? I'm going to give you the reference number so you can look at it. 5236P Platinum, you know, with a dark blue dial, 41.3 millimeter casing, and dropping. No, Mr. Premium, on that one, you're already losing big time. You're like losing big time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I tell you. The watch market is dead. You know, those Corona beer era prices, you're never going to see them again, ladies and gentlemen. That's just a wet dream that you had. But you're never going to see those prices ever again, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in that Corona era, that watch was over $200,000. Over. And people were wiring money. You know, they were even wiring money back then on people that didn't even show their face when they had their channel. Like that guy, Eugene, you know, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Ladies and gentlemen, it went all the way up. That's right. But not no more. Mr. Wicked, it went all the way down. And I'm going to tell you because I'm stupid like that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay wire. Don't pay for that watch more. Ready for this? Don't pay for that watch more than $82,000 and dropping. Okay, there it is. $82,000. $82,000 and dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Watch market is dead. They're not like us. All the way up. They're not like us. I'm telling you what it is, Papi. This is the #1 watch market update show in the world, Papi. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a watch here for another of our colleagues. You know, another recovering tomato can that belongs to this channel as a subscriber. We're talking about no other than Damon. You know, Damon is a big collector of H. Muser. You know, H. Muser. When you hear this, you're not going to believe this. H. Muser. H. Mooser, Papi. If Damon, you're around, this is for you, Damon. You're not gonna believe this, you know. You're not gonna believe this. This is the H. Mooser Streamliner. Unbelievable with a Wyoming jade, you know, with a Wyoming jade green dial. It's all rose gold with the green dial. Wyoming jade green. This is an unbelievable watch, Papi. Yo say, Papi, I'm a big fan of H. Mooser. H. Mooser is already in Formula One, sponsoring and everything in those fast cars, you know. H. Mooser, here it goes, guys. Show me the H. Mooser. Show me the H. Mooser, everybody. Show me the horns of the H. Mooser, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna believe this, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about a watch that cost, it's a tourbillon, you know, and with that green, that jade green. There it is. Those are the horns, ladies and gentlemen. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about a watch that costs $135,000. That is the retail price. I converted it from over there, from the La Francs, the Franks, you know, the Franks over there, you know, Germany, I don't know. Unbelievable, $135,000, solid rose gold. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that watch, Poppy? I mean, you guys got to get ready for this. This is the rose gold, reference number 68040406. You know, with H. Mooser, Wyoming J. Green dial. And ladies and gentlemen, I was keeping the best for last. Only 100 pieces around the world. 100 pieces around the world. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that watch? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Tell me how much. Tell me how much. Tell me. Salud. Salud, Eugene. I'm the boss, Eugene. I'm the boss, Eugene. I sleep in your head. 90, okay. Good job. 50, okay. Come on, one more. Nobody knows, huh? No clue. Don't pay for that beautiful H. Mooser. Don't pay for that watch. Has a retail price of $135,000. Don't pay for that watch more than $78,000. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. It's your money, and you spend it as you please. H. Mooser, not in the way the watch is built, not in the way the craftsmanship of the watch. No, they're on fire, those watches. You know, exactly. We own real estate. Listen, thank you, Alex. I'm telling you, not on the way the craftsmanship, not on the way they built, not in the way they're watchmakers. They're beast. They're beast. On the branding and the marketing, for some reason, they're dead in water. They're dead in water. But you do whatever you want. That's what I got to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, here's an AP Royal Oak stainless steel 39mm blue dial. This is a reference 15300, like the 15202. This is an older one, the 15300, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about a watch that's beautiful, solid watch. There are people thinking, you know, since it was the first one, blah, 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 comparing to the 15202 jumbo ultra thin. This one is a 39mm, but the reference is the 15300, ladies and gentlemen. And the retail price of that watch, whether you guys want to believe it or not, the retail price of that watch was $13,600. And I'm going to tell you, there are people out there asking for that watch 47, 46, 44, 50, whatever, you know. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Don't pay for that watch. Listen, guys, I'm here for one reason, man. It's to protect each other. You protect me, and I protect you, right? This is your channel. You're the owners of this channel. You are the owners of this channel. I know what I'm saying. You know? I know what I'm telling you. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this because you need to know this. The retail price is $13,600. It's a 39mm with a blue dial. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $34,000. And there it is. Okay? There it is. That's it. You know, I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a watch for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. This is an Omega Speedmaster. You know, it's an unbelievable Speedmaster. It's an incredible watch. It's unbelievable. They did the white one, and they thought that the white one was going to go all the way to the moon. And you know, while it was flying up there, it has something, a malfunction in one of the turbines, and he se descojonó el cohete. El cohete se descojonó. You don't know what I said? You Google it, because I'm not going to tell you. You Google it, because I'm not going to tell you. But anyway, this watch is an unbelievable watch. And ladies and gentlemen, not too long ago, they came out now with one that's unbelievable. The Speedmaster with the black dial. Black dial with the white gauges, you know? La misma mierda con diferente peste. The same smell with different, you know, the same shit with different smell, you know? Different smell. The same shit with different smell. La misma mierda, you know? I mean, you do whatever you want. Saludos, Doc Maker, Florida. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. And ladies and gentlemen, let me give you this reference number that's longer than an Amtrak train. You know, it's the 310-3042-5001-004. And it's a chrono, ladies and gentlemen. Retail price of that watch is $10,400. $10,400. Saludos, Doc. $10,400. Yep. And I'm going to tell you, you know, again, I told you today who was number 3 that sold the most watches, you know, on the brand that sold the most watches in the year 2025. If you missed that, folks, go back into the video so you can take a look at it, so you can see from the 10th watch to the first watch that sold the most in 2025. And Omega was there. Omega was there. I'm not going to tell you what number they were, but they were there. And I'm going to tell all of you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Omega, which just, you know, came out, and they're going crazy with it, the 42 millimeter. Unbelievable. I'm going to tell you the watch, the retail price is $10,400. You know, and Mr. Premium, you're right. If you want the white one, you pay for it $7,000. The white dial, right? White dial, you know, the same sketch. But it dropped dead faster than Bill Clinton's pants, you know? Se jodió. And I'm going to tell you right now, because it's just, you know, it's been around a little bit already. Don't pay for that watch more than $9,200 and dropping. And dropping. I mean dropping. You be careful with your money out there. That's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a Patek Philippe Gondola. Listen to this. Patek Philippe Gondola with a leather strap. You know, 10-day. Check this out. 10-day power reserve. You know, the 5100J. 5100J. Do yourself a favor and don't pay for that Patek Philippe Gondola. 10-day, you know, power reserve. 5100J. Don't pay for that watch more. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more. And I mean, don't pay more. You do whatever you want, gentlemen, but don't pay for that watch more than $23,000. And there it is, okay? That's one there. We have 2 watches more, and we're done, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. We have a Patek Philippe Complications. Patek Philippe Grand Complications. Listen and learn. Listen and learn. That guy, you know, the guy over there, Eugene, a.k.a. Jacob McChicken, is telling you about his watches, that they're going away to $1 million. They're going to $1 million, and his watch already is $100,000. But I'm going to tell you the truth, because I'm stupid like that. I'm going to give it to you. No deje la gonorrea esa que te haga esto. No lo deje. Don't let him do that to you. Don't let him. Don't let him, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Patek Philippe Grand Complications. Platinum 36 millimeter. 3940 perpetual calendar. Don't you pay for that watch more. You do whatever you want. You can believe what he tells you, that his watch already costs $100,000, you know, on his fantasy world, you know, on his malignant, you know, narcissist mind. Malignant narcissist mind. He believes that. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $73,000. And there it is, okay? There it is. There it is again. Here you go. I sleep in your head, Eugene. Don't pay for that. Don't pay more than that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you another one. The same one, just different metal. This is the Patek Philippe Grand Complications on yellow gold, 36 millimeter, the 3940J perpetual calendar. The same thing, platinum, but yellow gold, ladies and gentlemen. And I showed all of you who has more money on the metal, the platinum or the gold. You know what I'm trying to say. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell all of you, don't pay for that 3940J. Both of these watches are in a leather strap. On a leather strap. Don't pay. Well, here it goes. Here it goes. Don't pay for that watch more. Here it goes. The yellow one, the 3940 perpetual calendar, 36 millimeter, Grand Complications Patek Philippe. Gold is king, Papi. You know it, Alex. Don't pay for that watch more than $53,000. And dumping. ladies and gentlemen, that's our watch market update show for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something from everything that I said to you today. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you know, what I try to tell you is just knowledge to help you guys out so you don't let these flim flammers fleece you in any kind of way. You know, on behalf of me and Sweet Kid Kino, we want to say thank you to all of you who were here live on this live stream. Don't forget that we have a private watch group under my name. Juan Felipe Nieves is on Bookface. Look for About, and you'll find their Opusntime Watches. Request to join the channel. Again, thank you so much for all of you being here today with me on this live stream. Like we say always, me and Sweet Kid Kino, take care and brush your hair. Good day, guys. Be well.